What's up, gamers? Happy Monday. We are back with some more modern action. Thanks to everybody that was hanging out with us over the weekend for our charity stream that we did. We got to play some Commander with some awesome other content creators. I don't know if we're going to move or put that VOD and stuff up or not yet. But you guys can go check it out on Twitch if you care about that stuff. We also got to play a little bit of Modern. We also got to play a little bit of One Piece. So it was a great day for streaming and raising money. We raised quite a bit of money, $600 for Trans Lifeline and Trevor Project. So that was awesome to be able to do. We're trying to hit $1,000 for both of them. So good first start for the first stream event there. But we've got this Modern match here. Two decks, one of which we have seen before, Indomitable Creativity, starting off with a Thoughtseize. The Bant Landfall deck has been a deck that has existed on the outskirts for years. And, you know, it was a Legacy deck, some variations of it. It's been a Modern deck, some variations of it. And now it's back. Most people think about Landfall, they think of like the Nadu piles and stuff that existed last summer. But this is taking some of the pieces from it, but really relying on Knight of the Reliquary. So we see a Thoughtseize, and you look at some of the stuff that you want to be able to get rid of. Malevolent Rebel Rumble is really scary. The Exile effect is scary. Bristly Bill can get out of hand, but yeah, it looks like we're going to prioritize the Exile effect with Prismatic ending there. So Bant Landfall's now going to be able to just sort of set themselves up this turn with our Birds of Paradise. I don't like Birds of Paradise, Noble Hierarch. They kind of fit the same role. I don't know why you might want one over the other than the like Exalted trigger, because they're both O1s. Like, when are you going to need to make another color? Well, maybe with the Prismatic, you might need to exile something else. But really, for the most part, it's like either way, it's going to be fine. So not that big a deal. So the goal of the Bant Landfall deck is to be able to get a Knight of the Reliquary out and then just sort of utilize our Retreat to Core Helm and keep untapping and going through all the lands in our deck and just beat our opponent down, do a lot of damage. The other side of things, the Indomitable Creativity list is a combo deck. It's like a Jund list that you can see here, utilizing its lands to be able to get Dwarven Mines, turn our tokens into big scary things. Now, this version, you see fluctuations between like the 4-color list, the 3-color list, whether it's running blue or not. This list is not, so it gets us access to the reanimation package of like Persist. Faithless Looting gets added into there, so it gives us a little bit more flexibility. Now, Bristly Bill, we see, comes down. We would have loved to have had the bird live, so we could have done Bristly Bill and then drop down a land and maybe even put a +1 counter on our birds and make it a little bit easier to stay alive, but not the case here. And we do see kind of in the tank a little bit debating about whether or not we want to try to fight. So you see the Witherbloom command there, so it's like the debate, do we kill the Bristly Bill here right now, or are we just waiting? Looks like we're waiting right now. It's still early enough, we can kind of be fine with it. Yeah, we're fine with losing. We already got some value off the Wrenn and 6. We killed off the bird. We were able to get a land back, so did some work. All right, there's the Rumble going to get used now. Retreat to Core Helm. That's like, again, if we're looking for 2 cards that we need for the deck, Retreat to Core Helm and Knight of Reliquary are those cards. Now, the goal is to be able to assemble it. We see Green Sun Zenith is in here to help us tutor for it. Fetching coming out for our creativity player. Do they just have it? Yeah, so Dwarven Mine's going to come out because we'll make a dwarf. We have a mountain, of course, so enters untapped, and we'll be able to do our creativity, destroy this artifact, and we're going to reveal cards from the top until we reveal a creature card. And guess what? The list doesn't run very many creatures. That's the one it runs. So we get Archon of Cruelty, which will have trigger, do the life swap 3/3, gain 3. Opponent loses 3. They discard a card. We draw a card. They sack a creature. So, like, that's attack and ETB effects that we've got for that. So now we're left with, okay, how can we stay alive here from... We could take a hit, right? We could take 9 damage, and then we basically have to kill them next turn. So our goal is to set up... We've got quite a few lands in the graveyard here. I mean, that's part of the reason why Rumble is run. It fills up our graveyard with cards. It lets us find something. 4/4 Bristly Bill is pretty nice. I mean, the 3 life swing does, is relevant. There's another land. Rumble, nice. All right, so get another token. Oh, we got 6 there. Token. So our goal is to have the token be sacrificed, keep the bill around, so we could try to go for the beats next turn. Let's see. Yeah, checking our mana. We have persist. We've got... I guess... Oh, do we have an untapped land? I guess you could have, like, combat... I don't know. Oh, nope, there we go. Witherbloom Command. We're going to give this -3, -1. And maybe we can swing in and clear the board there. So, yeah, quick scoop up there knowing that, okay, yep, that's it. We got by the deck. The deck did the thing that it was trying to do. Creativity is just sort of, like, able to kind of set themselves up. Now, post-board, things get a little bit more challenging for Creativity because it's set up to, be in this position where it's easier to hate it out. Well, it's easier to fight against it post-board. People know what the deck is trying to do, and so you can try to target specific areas of the deck. Now, the other side of things, we got to see a little bit of what the deck's doing, like of the Bant Landfall deck, but not really seeing too much else. So Dwarven Mine's going to come out now. We needed looks like a red source here, and okay with, that being out now instead of saving it for later. That could give us indication of perhaps that we're going to be setting it for a persist and reanimation setup for next turn. We see at least 1 in hand, so. All right, both players just sort of setting themselves up here with the kind of land, go, stare each other down. Now, also, things like Surgical Extraction work out very well if you're fighting the Creativity deck because you can strip away certain tools that they've got, making it even more difficult, especially against this like reanimation package version that we're seeing here. There's very few creatures in the list. They diversify the creatures usually in board, especially this Creativity player. They bring in other tools and start to decrease the number of Archon of Cruelties there. Just to help for that very nature of that, like, post-board, we expect to see a lot of people bring in certain things to hate out, like, with surgicals and stuff. All right, Rumble to start it off. Great way to go about things. Let's see. I don't even know what that creature is. Prismatic Ending. Nope, we're going to grab this mystery creature. Throw these lands in the graveyard. Just fine. What are we up to? 1, 2, 3, 4 lands? 3 lands? All right, our Scion here. And Ren and 6, let's pop that probably. Unless we need to get that land back, but I expect us to just pop the Scion. Yeah, Ren and 6 is very useful and kind of that key card for building a Creativity deck because of the fact that your goal is to just rely on your lands to, like, especially the Dwarven Mines and stuff like that. Oh, Dryad, nice. So we'll do a trigger, make sure the Dryad stays alive against the Ren and 6. So diversifying our threats a little bit more here. We've got 2 2/2s out. Let's see, our Creativity player. It's got a Faithless Looting. Yeah, so it looks like we are trying to go for potentially a persist line this time around. Or we, also digging too, because we might not have. Oh, we just threw the persist in there. So no. Looks like we maybe with the cards that we got. Yeah, okay, we drew into a creativity. Okay, so we've pivoted through. We did not get any creatures here, so there's no point in hoarding that persist for the time being. Let's just sort of go and set ourselves up. So we'll go, of course, uptick our Ren and 6 and be able to get a land back. Give us a black source. Are we going to just lose 5 right now? Go to 12? I mean, we have to at some point. Like, we need the black source for the deck. Oh, look at lots of clumped up cards there. Well, so we're saying, are we losing 5 because of the potential to Thoughtseize here? We saw that in hand. It's going to be a few turns before we get a creativity going, so it's like losing some life to help protect us is very nice. But, oh, we got the push. Nice. That works out great. Get rid of the Bristly Bill before it gets out of hand and make something even scarier. We drop Ren and 6 to 1. Nope. Actually, we are able to cast our Knight. No land drop here. So we've gotten half of the essentially high synergy combo style that the deck is known for. So, all right, Knight is out, but no land drop makes it a little bit tough. Uptick, get a land back for our creativity player, and we're going to get set up. We have the creativity, so it looks like we're going to go for it here. We're going to fetch, go get a Dwarven Mine. 4 mana is the key number we need. Here's my dwarf. And, I mean, at least as the Bant Landfall player, you have a creature to sacrifice as need be here. So let's see. Is it an Archon or is it another threat? Revealing all these cards. This is also good for you to kind of sit here and see what maybe they sideboarded in, what sort of stuff are available. No creatures yet. Just kidding. We sideboarded them all out. Oh my gosh. It's in here somewhere. Where is it? Where is it? Oh my gosh. Liliana. Oh, that's a cool choice. Ah, okay. Elish Norn, the sideboard. So Vigilance will shrink down all of the creatures. Dryad Arbor dies state-based effects. Other creatures that we control get +2/+2. Now, you think that Knight of Reliquary was a 2/2, but it gets +1/+1 for each land in the graveyard. So I think it's a 4/4 right now. Misty, let's fetch. Now it's a 5/5. What do we got here? Sweet basic forest. All right. We got a rumble here. Oh, okay. Retreat to core home. So we have the stuff. So watch how this is going to work. We're going to tap, sacrifice this forest, go find a land. Sack a forest or a plane, search your library for a land card, put it onto the battlefield, and shuffle your library. Retreat to core helm will trigger. We'll untap Knight of Reliquary. So if we get, so we're going to get a Surveil land. We're going to pop it with the Surveil trigger on the stack. Oh, and we've got a Yavimaya. So now every time that we're getting lands, we could start tapping them for mana. So we're going to go get, and this is perfect. So basically turns all of our cards into things that we could sacrifice. So we've got 2 green floating. We're going to have a blue floating. Get a plains. Now get a white floating. Meticulous Archive. All right. Second Surveil. Do it again for another green. Our goal is to just fill up our graveyard here. Make the Knight really, really big. We're not doing the untap every time, but because, like, our opponent is F6. They have no interaction right now, so they're just sort of they have no mana available. They've got no way to stop this continual triggers and continual sacrificing of lands. We're not sure what the payoff's going to be. How, like, we've got Elish Norn, so we can at least do some blocking right now. Are we stopping? He's a 16 right now, looks like. Or maybe a 14. Maybe we got 14 lands in there. So we look through, what else do we have? Basically, we're also thinning our deck out a lot. And we've got 2 Surveil triggers here. And 4, 5, 6 mana available to us. 7, technically. Leave that on top. Use 2 of it. Malevolent Rumble here. Get an Endurance. Nice. Endurance herself. Let's shuffle that back in.
I'm going to redo it. Get Sejiri Step. Give it for a white.
So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to redo that and continue to sacrifice it. Dump this whole thing, and then we have this Surgy Step here. When it enters, target creature you control gains protection of the color of your choice. So Knight of Reliquary will gain protection from white, meaning that Elish Norn is no longer able to block, and we get to beat them down with a 2020 Knight of Reliquary there. So very cool. We got to see the deck do the thing there for game number 2, and that's what it's like. I say it's like a fair combo deck kind of thing, because you're just doing like, it's Bant Landfall. You're doing the landfall stuff. You need 2 cards to be able to go off, though. So it's a very cool deck for sure. I like the deck a lot. Maybe one of these days we'll build it and play it. But for the time being, we're having so much fun with other blue decks at the moment. But that's going to be a problem. So now that we saw the deck in action, we know how much it cares about the graveyard. We went back into our sideboard and pulled out a Leyline of the Void here. And we got that in there. Very nice sideboard tech here. Of course, turn 1 Green Sun Zenith is going to be nice, giving us access to a Dryad Arbor. And what do we get? A Temple Garden here. Yeah, Temple Garden. All right, so we hope that our Dryad Arbor doesn't get shot with a Wrenn and 6. It's possible, because we are on the draw. But if it lives, that just helps us kind of accelerate ourselves a little bit more. Thoughtseize is going to get pitched to the graveyard. Looks like maybe we didn't have a black source, and it looks like we just drew one there. Got Faithless Looting going to get used. Double Creativity going on there. And it looks like we had our Elish Norn maybe. Yeah, Elish Norn's also in hand. Get rid of a Creativity. Get rid of another Faithless Looting. So pitching all of these cards. Maybe that's not an Elish Norn. Oh, no, it's a Thoughtseize. Okay. Just the art threw me off. All right, so that makes more sense of why we were pitching those cards. So Thoughtseize is going to get used. Let's take a look and see what we're worried about here. Another Prismatic, Birds, Green Sun Zenith, Malevolent Rumble, and a... Oh, okay, so we're going to be going for our... My guess here is Green Sun Zenith, Prismatic Ending, or the Rumble. Yeah, like those are the 3 like scary cards. Rumble is annoying. You get to look through so much stuff. So 2 mana. All right, there's our Springheart Nantuko. Again, probably haven't seen this since the Nadu days, but it's like that's what we talked about. It runs a lot of the similar Nadu pieces, like Bristly Bill, Springheart Nantuko, things like that. I guess it doesn't really need to run a Court of Calling or anything, because you're running the Green Sun Zenith. It fits in better for the deck. But if you have the Springheart line, a Court of Calling does become relevant. Otherwise, it's not that good. So I don't think it's worth it to run it just for this one specific line. No bestow though. We didn't want to bestow it on our Dryad Arbor, which I think we probably could have gotten away with. Gone for the bestow, and it helps keep our Dryad Arbor alive. But and we can make extra Dryad Arbors if need be. I don't know how relevant that would be, but, you know, making more lands, does it just continue, right? Because if we bestowed it, we paid 2 mana to make another Dryad Arbor, you know, make an insect. Next turn, we could do that again. Like, it just keep, like, you're not going to be able to tap the Dryad Arbor. It doesn't have haste, of course, but, like, I don't know. More landfall triggers sounds better to me than not, you know? All right. We're going to lose some life. We've got all 3 of our colors, Bant. We've got like 5 mana available to us, so... So we've got a prismatic... Our goal is to try to get up to... So what do we got? Green, white, blue... Yeah, we still have the Dryad Arbor, right? Is that hidden over there in the corner? I think it is. So we could prismatic... All right, green for 3. We could prismatic the ley line here. Because the way that prismatic, it's like how much mana you spend into it. And because we have the birds, we are able to generate more. But it looks like we're worried about what our opponent's doing with the graveyard. So we gotta put a stop to that. So I think that makes sense. Because we can always do the prismatic on the following turn, right? We have enough mana that we could exile target non-land permanent with a mana value less than or equal to the number of colors, and with birds we do get a hit. But that makes it a little bit scary. What do we hit off of it? An Archon, that's not so bad. We can handle an Archon because we can sacrifice... oh, we lose our prismatic though. No. Well... So if we had cast the prismatic, we would have lost our Green Sun Zenith, but it would have been in our graveyard. So now we do have to try to find another prismatic ending here. I don't know. I feel like utilizing a whole turn to get rid of prismatic, or to use prismatic for the ley line, might have been the play there. But it's like that hindsight is 2020, knowing that the next turn they're going to pop off. With the way that they were filling up their graveyard, you know, there was extra Faithless Lootings, there was all this other tools that were in there, like... Getting rid of their graveyard seemed like the correct line at the time. Okay. Green Sun Zenith. I wonder, do we have a... Maybe we have to run like a one of Kasali Pride Mate or something like that. Like the old school style of cards that like the, you know, Selesnya... collected company style decks used to run back in the day, that would be like, all right, I can pay 1, sack it, and destroy an artifact or enchantment. Also as Exalted. Like, I mean, there's other cards that work out, you know, great, but I'm just trying to think of cards in our colors that will be useful. But, you know, just to help stop from these moments of the, you know, ley line moments where if we don't have prismatic ending, we're in trouble, and we need a way to answer that. But we do see a Mirror Breaker coming out, making a token. And with all of our reach creatures, Endurance, of course, does have reach, so it's a 3/4. This does make it a little bit easier for us. In the debate about whether or not to attack. Looks like no, we're not. Oh, there's a knight. Okay. But we have no other things in our graveyard. No. It's not any bigger because of the ley line. But we do have it. All right. Discard 2, draw 2. Get 2 more lands. All right. Makes it a little bit tough. A wall of blockers are set up here. I guess we just play the fetch land and get a Dwarven Mine next turn or something. Or save it for when we need it. Like, we can hold the fetch land for when we need it. I don't know if... Oh, Surveil land. Yeah, let's trigger, make another insect. And do some Surveil. Whatever it is, we're fine with it on top. Alright, there's the fetch. Dwarven Mine time. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, Surveil land. Okay. I guess we have a second fetch land. So yeah, we don't have to go for the Dwarven Mine now. All right, we just get more information. Oh, a creativity on top. Flip. All right, so with the flip, get in the sleeve. Come on. Nope, just kidding. We get a create token that's a copy of another target non-legendary. So we can create another copy of our Archon here, which is nice. And it's got haste. We have to sacrifice it. Fetching, though. Oh, because we have the creativity now. So we can turn 2 of these tokens into it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And then we still have the mana that we could do the create token and just go wide. Oh, creativity all 3. I guess you could have done the Kiki mirror stuff first, right? Make an Archon, draw another card, do some stuff, and now let's see. Yeah, 2 copies of Archons would be even scarier, especially let's see what we are drawing. If we're getting rid of 3, that means that there's like all the threats. All right, Elish Norn basically going to wipe the field, kill off all the creatures. What else do we got? Where's the others? Where's the others? How many more Archons are left? There's 1 more Archon. What's the last creature? We're scooping up here, but Iona named Green. There's the handshake. No, he says no. I ain't shaking your hand after that. That you locked me out of the game with Leyline, and you locked me out of the game with an Elish Norn. I am not shaking your hand over that one. Now the players are friends, so it is just kind of that nice little back and forth between them. Not as BM as you all think there, but that was a good showcase, and we got to see at least the Bant Landfall deck do its thing. Worked out great in game 2, but much more challenging in game 3, where the creativity was just able to go, hey, let's go long and let's set ourselves up relying on some sideboard cards there. But that's going to do it for us here today. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching, everyone, and I'll see you all next game.